Okay, so welcome back once again, guys. Now, in this lecture, I'll be talking about one more important concept with respect to statistics and which we are going to use across our industry. And especially, I'm going to talk about financial industry data. And with respect to that, I'm going to explain this particular topic, which is called as coefficient of variation. So let's try to understand that what is the meaning of coefficient of variation and how we are going to calculate it. What is the use case of a coefficient of a variation? So let me explain you that particular part. So here, like I said, so I'm going to talk about something called as coefficient, COE, coefficient of variation. So technically it's called as CV, coefficient of a variation. So here, first of all, I'll try to take a data. So let's suppose we have a data set something like this. So we have a month given inside a data. We have a two portfolio. So let's suppose you are trying to do an investment. You are trying to do an investment in two different portfolio. So here we have a month, and let's suppose we have a portfolio A, which is given to me. And then we have a portfolio B. And we all do some sort of an investment in a stock market and in different assets. We try to do an investment. So let's suppose there is a month called as Jan, and then a Feb, and then we have a March, and then we have a April, and then we have a May, and then we have a June. And portfolio A is giving you a 2.5% of return in a month A. So it's a percentage of a return I'm talking about. In February month, this is giving you 3% of return. In a March month, it's giving you 2% of return. In a April month, it's giving you 2.5% of return. In a May month, it's giving you a 3.5% of return. In a June month, it's giving you 2% of the return. This is the portfolio A. And portfolio B return is, let's suppose, 4.0, and then 5.5, and then 3.0, and then 4.5, and then 6, and then 3.5. Now, so I have to decide that whether I should do an investment in a portfolio A or I should do an investment in a portfolio B. Now, just by looking into this return, right? Just by looking into this return, maybe you will be able to think that portfolio B is having a higher number, or even on a month-on-month basis. So portfolio B is having a higher return rate. So it is giving me more return as compared to portfolio A. But whenever we try to, or whenever we plan to, like, do some sort of an investment, so we always try to calculate even a risk. Because obviously, if I'm doing an investment, there will be a risk which could be involved. So I will be looking for, so maybe if I'm doing a long-term investment, so in that case, I will be looking for a less riskier portfolio, and that I have to estimate, or maybe that I have to calculate. And this is where this coefficient of variations comes into a picture. So coefficient of variations formula wise, if I'm going to write down the formula, so this says that standard deviation divided by a mean into 100, this is called as coefficient of variation formula. So this is nothing but a standard deviation. We all are aware about it. This is nothing but a mean, and we are just trying to multiply with 100 so that I will be able to find out the percentage, because data will be available in a different unit. So percentage is technically a neutral unit with respect to any kind of a unit that we are going to consider. So here I have to estimate, or I have to find out that, okay, so which portfolio is a less riskier one, so that I can go ahead with the long-term investment. Now, as we know that coefficient of variation, so this is going to tell me that how my data set is going to vary, right? How my data set is going to vary. So CV, coefficient of variation, is going to always tell you that what is a relative variance exist inside my data set, and whichever is having a less variation, so obviously that will be the more stable one, right? If something is varying a less in or fluctuating less, in simply means that it is having a more I can do an investment. Basically, I can do a stress-free investment over here. So let's try to do a math, and with the help of this calculation, you will be able to decide that whether I should go and do an investment in portfolio A or I should go and do an investment in portfolio B. So now just to do a calculation, so we have to find out like a mean for a portfolio A and a standard deviation of a portfolio A, and similarly for a portfolio B. So let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. So here I'm going to consider portfolio A and I'm going to find out a mean. So mean is nothing but summation of all the data divided by total number of the data. So here 2.5, 3.5, 2.0. So let me write it down over here. So 2.5 plus 3.0 plus 2.0 plus 2.5 plus 3.5 plus 2.0 divided by 6. Yeah. So this is going to give me a mean. So mean is going to be 2.583 if you are going to do a calculation. And similarly, so you can try to calculate a standard deviation for this particular data. So standard deviation, I believe we all know the formula. So that is going to be approximately 0.52. I have already done the calculation. Now coefficient of variation for A, if I have to calculate, so this is going to be this one into 100. So we know the standard deviation. So standard deviation is 0.52 divided by 2.583 into 100, and that is going to give you a 20.13 approximately percentage. So variation is 20.13. Now similarly for portfolio B, if I have to do a calculation, so I can try to calculate an average. So average is going to be 4.0 plus 4.5 plus 4.0 and there was 5.5. So as per my data set 5.5, then 3.0, 4.5, 3.0 plus 4.5 plus 6 plus 3.5 divided by 6. Yeah. So now my mean is going to be 4.417 and my standard deviation is going to be approximately 1.06. Yeah. Now, so coefficient of variance for a B, data B, so 1.06 divided by 4.417 into 100, right? Now this is going to give me approximately 24.00%. Yeah. So now for a portfolio A, my coefficient of variance is technically 20.13. And for my portfolio B, my variations coefficient of variance is technically 24. Now I can decide easily. So which one is a less risky portfolio? So obviously variance is low for my portfolio A. Yes, portfolio A variance is low. So this is, and as compared to, so again, I'm just trying to do a relative comparison between a portfolio A and a portfolio B over here. So I can clearly say, or I can clearly state over here that for portfolio B, so risk is higher. So obviously if I'm thinking about a long-term investment, so maybe I should consider a portfolio A as compared to a portfolio B. And how we are able to reach out to that conclusion with the help of coefficient of variation. So which is technically telling me that, okay, so how your data set is going to vary. Although just by looking into a data, it looks like that it is giving me a higher return, but it is a less stable one as compared to a portfolio A. So this is where I will be able to make my final decision. So hope all of you are able to understand that what is the meaning of a coefficient of variation. And again, so the math calculation that we have done with respect to this one. So with that, thank you so much everyone. Take care and see you again in my upcoming lecture.